Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Thrive with Alpha series brought to you by Alpha, Union Bank's proposition for women. We're excited to have you join us today. I am Adenike Olokumbola, Head Customer Engagements and Partnerships Retail Segment at Union Bank. Today's webinar is titled Charting the Path to Success, What Women Need to Know. In this session, we'll discuss everything women need to know about mapping the road to success, irrespective of their niche. Our speakers, Lara Garuba, Dr. Busola Ayelowo, and Olasubomi Sofowora, will walk us through the strategies and resources we need to succeed and share their real-life experiences with us while at it. So whether you're a professional or a businesswoman, you are in for a great ride. Lara Garuba is a seasoned professional with a diverse range of expertise as a lawyer, career and business coach, mentor, and management consultant. With over 18 years of professional experience in law, financial services, and consulting, Lara has established herself as a highly accomplished individual in her field. She earned her law degree from the University of Benin in 2001 and was subsequently called to the Nigerian bar in 2004. Throughout her career, Lara has made significant contributions to the financial industry, where she has become recognized as an industry expert in product development, training, customer relationship management, and financial advisory. Currently, Lara serves as the co-founder COO of the Women Wealth and Wills Network, an organization focused on promoting financial literacy education for women. Lara is a recognized authority in her field and actively shares her knowledge through various platforms. She's the weekly columnist for the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, having authored over 50 articles. Additionally, she's a sought-after speaker and has delivered insightful talks at notable events, including the Lagos State Empowerment Trust Fund, American Space, and Young Lawyers Mentoring Club. Lara provides invaluable support to businesses through her role as a career and business mentor. She volunteers her time and expertise with organizations such as Faith Foundation, WIMBIZ Nigeria, and the Young Lawyers Mentoring Club. Thank you for joining us today, Lara.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Dr. Busola Ayelowo is a qualified medical physician who has received training in both Nigeria and Russia. She obtained her Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery degree from the Crimean Medical Institute, Simferopol, Russia, and she subsequently completed her foreign-trained doctor conversion requirements to practice medicine in Nigeria. She's also a student fellow of the Johns Hopkins Medical Institute and holds a degree in business management from IBM Berlin. She's the founder of the Africa Kidney Foundation, where they focus on education and treatment of people with kidney disease. Dr. Ayelowo is a specialist in general medicine and preventative care and has a passion for promoting healthy lifestyles through the promotion of preventative care. She believes that taking care of one's health is the foundation for a happy and productive life. Dr. Ayelowo is the operations manager at Shira Care Wellness and Dialysis Center. Thank you for joining us today, Dr. Ayelowo.
Thank you for having me.
Olasubomi Sofowora is a brand communications and sustainable development professional with about a decade and a half experience in different capacities. Olasubomi is the past chairperson of the Flour Mills of Nigeria Women Network, which was set up to improve gender diversity and promote women development within the organization. During her tenure, she was able to scale up the activities of the network, leading to a special recognition, women's empowerment and leadership, and for championing childcare by the IFC Nigeria to Equal program. She was also the Extension Services and Knowledge Management Manager at FMN after her role as the Brand Marketing and Program Manager of the Agro-Allied Division for almost 5 years. Prior to this role, Shubomi worked in the advertising industry for 6 years, where she managed accounts of various leading brands across different sectors. She also at the time worked with Food Concepts PLC, handling the marketing and PR activities of the Chicken Republic and Butterfield brands. She has a bachelor's degree in agricultural extension and rural development from the Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta. She also has a master's degree in management from the University of Lagos, a certificate in business sustainability management from the University of Cambridge, UK, and is currently a fellow of the Advanced Leadership and Social Impacts Fellowship at Queen's University, Canada. She is the initiator of Woven Impact Network, a non-for-profit organization set up to systematically tackle developmental issues with initiatives that are primarily focused on empowering grassroots women. She's also an advisor to His Highness Mohammed Sanusi II on SDGs since his appointment by the UN Secretary General as a UN Sustainable Development Advocate. Stemming out of his UN SDG advocate role, Olasubomi played a critical role in the setup of the Mohammed Sanusi II SDG initiative, and she is currently on the executive management team as a director of engagement and partnerships. Thank you for joining us, Olasubomi.
Thank you for having me, Adenike. It's definitely my pleasure to be here.
So I know we're all eager to hear from them. However, before we dive into the session, a little bit of housekeeping. If you have any questions during the session, please click on the Q&A tab and type your questions in there. We will have some minutes to respond to the questions during the session. Now sit back, grab your notepads, and prepare for an insightful and inspiring session. Without further ado, let's get right into it. So I'll start with you, Lara. What is your definition of success? And at what point did you think to yourself, I am successful?
Sorry, I went off for a moment. Okay. Adenike.
Yes, Lara.
Okay,
did you hear the question? Okay.
Please, can you say the question again?
Yes. So what is your definition of success? And at what point did you think to yourself, I am successful?
Okay, that's a question that I would like to approach in two ways. There is what is success, and there is that thing that the media has constantly pushed to us that this is success. The TV, radio, newspaper, and social media. So if you typically go to Google right now and type successful woman, you will most likely see a woman stepping out from private jet, in a mansion, and on a yacht. Those things are good, but for me, success is very subjective. So the question is, what is my goal? Have I met my goal? At the point of meeting my goal, then I can tell myself that I'm successful. I can tell the world I'm successful. What's my personal aspiration? What do I want to achieve? So success for me is personal evaluation. So it has nothing to do with, okay, you have more cars, I have less cars. That means you are more successful than me. I don't believe that that's what success should be. Success should be that, okay, like for the first time I wrote a book, it was a big deal to me. I told myself that I'm successful. For somebody else, it's not a big deal, but well, I'm successful based on that milestone. So that's the practical way that I try to evaluate myself. Every milestone that I achieve, I say that I'm successful, and I'm happy to say it. So we have to get to that stage where people stop saying that, oh, she has houses, I don't have houses, she's a success, I'm a failure. No, it has nothing to do with that. I believe it's more of personal evaluation. What do you want to achieve? What do you aspire to be? Are you there? How long will it take you to be there? And when you get there, then you are successful.
Thank you, Lara. That's quite interesting. It's an interesting perspective. Thank you for sharing. So we understand the uniqueness of success. And with that, I'll proceed with the same question for Dr. Busaya and Olasubomi. So let's start with you, Dr. Busaya. So please tell us what success means to you, and when did you start thinking of yourself as successful?
Thank you for that question. I like Lara's definition of success, but let's take the definition of success from the Oxford Dictionary. It defines success as accomplishment or the aim of a purpose, and therefore it's impossible to define success without first talking about what purpose is. So purpose is anything that is created anything that is created to have its own meaningful success. Otherwise, there's nothing you can do if you don't have purpose for it. For example, a chair is created for sitting down. But if the chair precedes the invention, then there's no purpose of that chair. So I always say things like, for me, success is unique, like she said. You cannot define success by what other people do. So therefore, success is finding expression in every aspect of your life, irrespective of what you do, irrespective of careers, your relationship with people, your marriage, anything that it is, as long as you give it your all and you derive pleasure from it, that's success to me in general. And the second question says that, if I got you right, so when did I think I was successful? So was that a second question?
Yes, it was.
I don't think I ever thought of myself as being successful, and I don't think I'll ever do that. And don't get me wrong, not because I don't think I've achieved things in life, but I just feel like the success, like I said earlier, is relative, is static. And I don't know how else to put it. Things you've accomplished are just facts and just mere numbers. Is how much you're able to impact people that really goes a long way. So success in its own form is a momentary thing. As time goes on, you begin to evolve. And that's why I always tell people that if you think you're successful now, it begins to slow your pace of how you continue to do things in future. And I just, how else? I just keep striving to be successful in everything I do in life. It's a continual process, it's a continual journey. It's not a linear curve at the moment.
Thank you, Dr. Busola. So I like the way you've tied in purpose into the definition, finding purpose first, then understanding the journey, and also understanding that it's not a linear journey. I like that. Olasubomi, what are your thoughts? Share with us, please.
Yeah, thank you for that question. So, like, without having to repeat what Lara and what Lara said, for me. And what Dr. Busola has also said. So for me, from the definition of success is definitely, the realization and fulfillment of an individual's potential, or rather purpose. So breaking it down, in order for anyone or anything whatsoever to be termed successful, it means that they were set goals, right? Towards a purpose. And then you devise some plans to achieve that purpose. And you got to a point where you said, oh, I think I'm successful at this, or I think I've achieved success. It could be anything. It could be a project. It could be an exam. It could be you're trying to get a partnership. It could be a campaign, for example. Like Dr. Lara, just as Lara said, success is highly subjective, definitely, and what success is for A varies, from B, and it's definitely influenced by varying beliefs and personal aspirations. And latching on the question, what I would just like to say is a lot of times we don't see ourselves as successful. Like when you ask me the question, like when was that time that I felt like I'm successful? I don't see myself successful yet. But what I've learned to do over time is to see how I can celebrate the wins along the way, the seemingly small wins. And in as much as there's a big picture of where I want to be, the several milestones that you hit along your career, and you give yourself a pat, you learn to give yourself a pat on the back and say, okay, I think I've been successful at this. It could be you aiming to write an exam, or you aiming to move to the next level in your career. But I'll just give an example of a time that I thought to myself that I'm successful. And I would say one of the critical moments in my life where I thought that I was successful was when I was nominated as the chairperson of the Women's Network, Flour Mills. Because for me, I'm someone who is a sucker for making impact wherever it is that I am. And it came as a surprise when that happened, because it's a role that had always been occupied by those in executive management level. So when the nomination came and I was just in middle management, it came as a surprise, because I'm like, and I actually pushed back and I was like, why was I nominated for this? This is for executive management. And after a lot of back and forth, I got on the role, and I think I did pretty well, from the feedback that I got. And at that point, I told myself that, Subomi, you're successful because what? You're making impact, you're seen, and you were able to run a network of about 400 women successfully, and you made a mark before, you left that role. So for me, that was something really fundamental. And, I gave myself a pat on the back for that. So I'll leave it there and so that you can move on to the next question. Thank you.
Thank you, Subomi. Thank you for sharing. So have any of you ever been in a situation where you feel tired and less motivated? If yes, what was your go-to hack for overcoming that feeling? And this can be anyone, Lara, Busola, Olasubomi. Please share with us.
Okay, let me just jump in on that. So yeah, so we can't all be, it's normal to feel that way sometimes. We can't feel pumped up all the time, so there are times that I feel like I don't even know what I'm doing. Like there are times I'm confused as well. There are times that you feel demotivated, maybe by virtue of, some personal challenges that you're going through. Could be like you had some goal set at work and it didn't happen. So there are definitely those times when, those melancholic like feelings creep in. Because it can definitely be challenging to regain momentum when you do that. But some go-to hacks that I've applied and kind of worked for me is, first and foremost, the times that, it's always great to have someone you can talk to in times like that. Does not necessarily have to be like your best friend. It could be someone who is within the organization or in your professional field that pretty much understands your goals and understand what you're doing. So it's always great to have those conversations. Sometimes you might just need a break. I know that at times we just, we're moving, we're on auto and, we're working round the clock. There's family life to deal with, there's work to deal with, there's in Lagos, there's traffic to deal with, so sometimes you might just need a break. And it's always good for you to understand when those times come and take that break. Work is not going to end. If you take 2 days off work, if you take 1 week, do not be afraid to take breaks. Even if it's not time for your annual leave, your body will let you know when you need to take a break. So sometimes that might just be what you need. Sometimes you need the change of environment. If you're someone that loves nature, for example, it might just be you like going to the beach for a couple of hours, soaking the air, the fresh air, and there's a thing that the waves does to me personally, but you need to just understand yourself. It might just be so yourself, what you like. For some people, they would go to the spa for a massage. It eases off the stress sometimes. And there are times you might need to take like inspiration and motivation from others. So it's always great to surround yourself with those that have positive influence on you. There are times I talk to people, to certain people in my life, and I'm like, each time, just a couple of people, each time I talk to you, I think I feel better, So you find those people that you can engage with. And when you speak to them, it could even be like listening to motivational podcasts. You could be reading, an inspirational book. It could be you watching like your favorite old-time movie that just makes you laugh. So it varies, but you try to understand yourself and try to understand what works and listen to your body when you need to shut down for a bit. Thank you. I hope I was able to answer your question.
Yes. Thank you, Shubomi. I particularly liked the bit about, knowing when you need to take a break. I think that's really essential. And then another thing that stood out for me was the support system. Yes, who are people that I surround myself with and people that I can talk to when I realize that I need it. Those are two really key things that you mentioned in sharing with us this morning. That was quite insightful. Lara, Busola, would you like to add anything? Your go-to hack for the times you felt less motivated or tired?
For me, Olasubomi said most of it, but you can never overemphasize the importance of the presence of a mentor and having good network in your side. You would never really understand how much it goes until you need them. I'm an advocate of always telling people that, you need to build very, very good professional networking system because they're very crucial for career success. Attending events, speaking to people you can trust, people that have experienced things in your field or your interested field that can help you with insightful advice as to what to do next. You can never overemphasize the importance of seeking mentorship and guidance in career.
Thank you, Dr. Busola. So, Lara, there are lots of early, mid-level professionals and business owners in the room. As they work towards building a successful career or business, what is the most important factor that they need to consider?
Thank you, Adenike, for that question. So, for the career people, I'll say that you have to have a goal. As simple as that may sound, it's important. So you start working for example, law firm, oil and gas company, and then you should have a goal on, okay, this is my role. How long do I want to be on this role? 3 years. Okay, the next years of my life, I want to be a senior management. What do I need to get there? Then have to work towards it. You know, we always say, have a goal, but you know, some people just get a job and they just flow with whatever wind blowing them up and down. And then they wake up and they're like, oh, it's 5 years, I'm still on the same level. So we, from the word goals, have a goal and make sure you are checking it at every point in time. So in 3 years, if you're still on that same level, what are you supposed to do differently? What has worked for me? What did not work? I take the next step. That means that you should also have a mentor, Busola said it, in the car space, because there are people who have done that before you. So rely on the help. The third thing I'll also say is build a network in your industry. So the mistake a lot of women make is, okay, so I work in a law firm. You don't build a network in that law firm. You should build a network in the entire legal system if you can. Build a network in the entire banking system. So have friends in others, have friends in other places, so that industry kind of recognizes you. So that's one of the mistakes I make in my initial banking career. You know, I knew everybody in my bank and I was comfortable. I didn't realize that, oh, Lara, there are 26 banks in Nigeria. You don't just stay there. So have a broad network. It helps, and it helps to speed your plan in life. For the business people, they need to have a work. Sorry, I have to speak as a lawyer here. There are so many business people that I speak with, and they say things like, I want to scale up. I think they just like the word scale up. And I asked them, have you read? Some of them still do business in their personal name. Have you registered the business? Is there anything like trademark that you need that you will do? Is there a business account? They don't even have a business account. You know, and you know, they just, I want to scale up. I want to scale up. There was a situation I had, okay, so I had an offer to deliver something, lots of units, and I saw a lady on Instagram.
Hello, Laura. So I think
she was selling so much. She even wrote for sale available, maximum, this one. So I went to her and I said, okay, I need you to deliver 10 sheets. 1 week didn't reply. Second week, and I called her. She started breathing hard. That's a lot. She employed this. I said, what's on your? She said you can do more than 500 pieces. What happened? Some of us, a lot of business people just these things. They don't have that structure in place that can work seamlessly. So I ask people, if you are not in that business, can that business run without, okay, I want to go abroad for 1 year. Can that business run for the next 1 year without you interfering? So business people should put structure. Do the registration that you need to do. Let's stop saying that we are Nigerians, oh, abroad. I mean, when you go abroad, you do all this registration. You do the registrations you need to do. Even your bank like you. Like structured business. Yeah, because they will be able to support you. So those are my thoughts on that.
Thank you, Lara. Quite impactful, really. Things that have stood out for me from what you said. So being deliberate, intentional about my success. So I'm not going to say you or now because you're also speaking to me. So being intentional and being deliberate, charting my course deliberately when it comes to my career, knowing what I want to achieve at what stage and by what time, and then going back to my drawing board. If it looks like I'm not moving or I'm stuck in the same place, then the bit about being recognized in my industry, creating a network outside of my organization. I think that's really a strong one. It's probably something that we should take home today. And then for business owners, the need to create structure, and with structure, you build capacity. Thank you very much. That was really impactful. Dr. Busola, do you have anything else to add to what Lara has shared on this beat?
She has said most of it. I'll just say that building a successful business or a career involves combination of so many factors and strategies. While there's no one size fits all, but there are certain things, like she has said, that need to be put in place. Like she said, clear vision and goals, continuous learning and skill development. We cannot overemphasize the fact that we need to continue to commit to long learning and staying updated in whatever field we have decided to choose for ourselves. And people do not understand that success involves overcoming a lot of obstacles. So we have to be persistent and resilient in whatever thing you have decided to do. Like I also mentioned earlier, I'm a very big advocate for networking and building very strong and important relationships, not just any type of relationships, but relationships that are beneficial to what you have decided to do. Connect and build relationships with peers and mentors in the industry you are in, so they can have positive impact on you. Then I think one other thing would be embracing change, be adaptable, improve yourself at every point in time. It also goes under continuous learning, and then have effective communication. Like she said, the lady ghosted her for 2 weeks. You can't be a business owner and ghosting people for 2 weeks. It doesn't boost confidence in your business. And then another one is time management and prioritizing what is urgent and what is important, and giving yourself realistic deadlines. A lot of us just set out goals and we do not prioritize them, and we do not give realistic deadlines. And when the time that we've set out comes up, we're like, oh my God, I'm a failure, I'm this. But the actual question here was that deadline realistic enough? Or you be able to achieve what you have set out in your set goals within that time you had given yourself? And I also tell people to embrace innovation and creativity. Foster a mindset of innovating, thinking outside the box is very important for me. I always tell my team members, if you're not a problem solver, then you're an issue to the team. The problem is that we've identified that as a problem. You need to be able to find solutions to the problem. It's either your career or in your business. Embrace innovation. Just in general, that's just it in general. Remember that building a career, as I also said, I remember building a business, successful business rather, takes time and effort and dedication. It's important to stay true to your values, your core values, what initially attracted you to whatever career or whatever business you're doing. Stay true to it and be adaptive, and also be very consistent for positive things in whatever you decide to endeavor into.
Thank you, Dr. Busola. So you said quite a number of things, being adaptable as one key thing, because everything moves, business moves. So being adaptable is important. Thank you very much. Olasubomi, so what do you think is the most important factor that we need to consider as mid-level professionals and business owners when we are trying to build a successful career and business?
Okay, I think a lot has been said. And so what I'll just, chime in is that, while we can, at the start of your career, because I think the question was like from start to mid-career, while we can't rule out the importance of finance in working, I feel like at the start of your career, your core objective at this stage should be it's like you sowing a seed. So, your core objective should be continuous learning and development. Money is good, but you're like laying the foundation for what the rest of your career would be like. And I know that, in this current, economic situation, we're all, focused on how we can, make more money, how we can do more stuff. Because obviously, bills will not wait for anyone to get paid. But stage of your career, it should be more on continuous learning and development. And, you keep sharpening your skills at this time. I know that times we find ourselves in careers that we didn't plan to. So when I started off, I really wanted to, even though I studied agricultural extension and rural development, I really wanted to work in management consulting. And I didn't get that kind of job, and then I got myself in the marketing and PR space. So I'll say that sometimes that happened. And what you should do is, whatever it is that your objectives are, whatever it is that your goals are, you can have that in mind, but whatever your hand finds to do, you also do with all your might. You don't say that these are the goals that I've set. Oh, I want to work in management consulting. So this job I'm just doing it by the side. I'm still looking for a management consulting job. And you might end up not getting the management consulting job, So it's more like you putting all your might in what you do and keep sharpening your skills, even in that area that you feel that you want to delve into. somehow, I think somehow you might call it serendipity, whatever it is, but you find out that there are times that your career just takes you through different turns and you find yourself doing exactly what you had always wanted to do. And even years down the line, you might even decide that you might come to a realization that that's not actually really what you want to do. And, times are changing, there's an evolution of career and all of that. So take all the key courses in line with your career goals and profession, very important, because, at that stage of your career, maybe I just really started off like before things are really busy. Maybe you get married, maybe you start having kids, take that time to, take on as many, professional courses in relation to to your career goals. And one thing that is very important also is taking on projects, even within your organization and outside your organization. You can volunteer in certain fields that you have interest in, right? So I've always been in marketing and PR, but I've always had interest in social impact. So somehow right from even the university days, I've always found myself in associations that enable me achieve that goal. And somehow it all comes together eventually, when you put your heart to these things. Another thing I'll just say also before I stop speaking is, strive to be excellent at whatever it is that you do. It's very important, and you cannot rule out the power of social currency. Build a strong and diverse network. It works. Thank you. You're muted.
Thank you, Shubomi. Yes, thank you. Thank you. So I like that it's about social currency. I also like you talking about whatever my hand finds to do diligently, even if it's not where I'd like to be at that time, but to still ensure that I'm diligent and giving my best to whatever it is that I'm doing now. I like the bit about keeping myself updated, taking courses towards my career goals. Those are things that speak about intentionality. Those are the things that sort of build your profile. Those are the things that people would look at and talk about, when things that they think about when they look at you. So this is someone who is diligent. This is someone who is passionate about their work. And all of those things, I believe, will also help you build the social currency that you've talked about. Thank you very much, Olasubomi. So it's been quite an interesting conversation. There's so much to unpack here. And I would like to thank our amazing speakers for being open and honest. I'm sure that we have questions in the Q&A tab, but before we take those questions, I mentioned earlier that today's webinar is powered by aLpher, Union Bank's value proposition for women. So aLpher is a platform that enables Nigerian women, irrespective of their background, take their best shot in life by providing capacity building opportunities, discounted lifestyle offerings, networking platforms, mentorship and coaching, and tailored financial services. We also have a workplace banking proposition targeted to support female professionals by helping them achieve their financial targets. So for more information about our propositions, you can email alpha@unionbankng.com or workplacebanking@unionbankng.com, and we will be glad to assist. So now we're at the Q&A segment, and the floor is now open for questions. So I have a question here for Dr. Busola. Olalade says, sorry, my network has been on and off. Did I hear you right, Busola? I don't think I can ever say I'm successful. If I heard you right, how then do you measure performance?
Okay, I think I already I replied her privately already, but I'll just say it today. Like I said, success is, like I said, it sounds very static to me if you ask me. And for me, my own definition of success is different from every other person's own. I'm a doctor here, and a successful day for me is coming to work and just making sure that my patients are happy. Nothing brings more joy to me than coming to work one morning and being able to solve someone's long life. I don't want to call it trial or anything. So it's a continuous renewal. Like I said, it's a momentary thing. Every day there is a new thing to be more to be happy about, to be more successful about. It's not, there's no what's the word now? There's no There's no hard and fast rule to it. There's no definition of, oh, because I have a car today, I'm successful. No. For me, a successful time or a successful period for me is when I can say, oh, today I've had, okay, for example, this month, I feel like I've achieved a lot. I'm very successful this month because over 100 patients that I have with me, 2 of them have had successful transplant surgeries. That's a big deal for me because they are alive today. They are doing very well. So it's a continuous revolution of things for me. It's not a statutory thing.
Thank you, Dr. Busola. Lara, what do women naturally struggle with as they strive to attain success?
Okay. I said that one is for me because I was born in a home of all girls. There are 6 girls at home. I have like 11 aunts, so I have all women around me. So the striking thing I would say before delving into that question is the fact that growing up, there was no discussion around you're a girl, you can't go there. You're a girl, you can't. There was no discussion. My grandfather never even talked about things like that, or my parents. So I didn't even see myself as, okay, I can't be a doctor, I can't be a lawyer, I can't be an engineer because I'm a girl. Having said that, I realized that a lot of women go through gender bias, especially in the workplace and even in business. So when decisions are made in some organizations, the moment they mention a woman's name, she'll be pregnant, she'll not be born for a whole lot of time. And you know, that is strong as that is still in some places today. And but after COVID, a lot has changed, things are still changing. For example, in the political sphere, do we even have any female governor? No. But I can tell you for free, there are a lot of women that went into politics. So the question is not, did they even go into politics? They did, and they're still striving. That bias is there, whether we like it or not, whether we face it personally or not. That's one. The second one I also see regularly is the balance between work and family. So the moment you're single and you don't have any equal responsibility, you can work till midnight. You can work anytime. The boss can call on Saturday, answer the call, and all of insurance bad and all of that. So that's also a struggle. A lot of people talk about work-life balance actually exists. I'm sorry, that's just, what I think exists is the balance that you achieve by yourself. Okay, so I'm a working woman. I have to think quick and find support. So there's something you need to outsource. You should have cleaner if you can afford it. You should have nanny for your kids if you can afford it. Those are things that you shouldn't even add to your struggle because as it were, the struggle is real. You're working late, you have kids, and then your phone, people have tracker on their kids' wristwatch to track them. People now have CCTV at home. So that things people now have to solve those struggles. The third one I'll say is lack of representation, which is also more about gender bias. So a lot of women are represented in places that they're represented. And the truth is, a lot of women are not also speaking of other women. And it's very sad. I've worked in a place before where it's even the women that are the most wahala for women. And because I realize that struggle exists, I always speak to myself when I get to a position where I need to help somebody. Lara, you're a woman, you must help another woman. I say it to myself constantly because before it, something will just trigger. I've done an interview before, that was many years ago. I did excellently well. I say that for free because panels and all that. And nobody called me. What happened? Years after, I heard that the head of the panel saw my bag, that she was carrying this bag, and she was like, how can she afford that kind of bag? And that was why I wasn't taken for that interview. for that job. You can imagine something as simple as that. So women are also disturbing women. So what I do for myself is I tell myself every time, is there a woman sleep? It has to be a conscious effort. I can't do that. No, she can't go there. So I tell myself consciously, I'm helping the next woman I see. I go into a meeting, I look out for women, what do you need to do, and all of that. So those are the struggles that I see that a lot of women go through.
Thank you very much, Lara. That was a lot, and that was quite insightful. Thank you. And Olasubomi, there's a question here about sharing some actionable tips for building and scaling a successful business in today's economic environment. So what kind of tips can you share for building and scaling a successful business in today's economic environment?
Okay. Thanks for that question, Adenike. Well, I'll answer that question, from my rudimentary knowledge on that, because I don't think I've successfully run any business. I've worked with organizations over the years, but I'll try and answer that question. In building and scaling up a successful business in today's economic environment, one thing that is very important is, for any business, this is like marketing 101. Find the solution to a problem first. Don't assume that you know what people want. It's important for you to just take some time out to, research the market that you want to serve. And I use the word serve because when you come from that space of, I'm trying to provide solution, I'm trying to serve a community or serve a market, then you begin to see your business or the service you're providing or the product you're providing beyond just that product in itself. So, spend some time to actually understand the market that you want to serve and look at it vis-a-vis the product and see, can this product actually serve this market? Can this service, is there something that needs to be done? So that's what I would term that as a discovery phase, where you try and just discover, your market, discover your solution, and have a plan. Very important. A lot of people set up businesses now without a plan, without a business plan. You just feel like, you can go into production of maybe packaged gari, for example, and you don't even have a plan. You just feel like there's a market for it now. People buy this thing, in the market. I'll just say it's more hygienic, it's more this and more that, and then you put it out in the market without actually having a plan to understand how much capital do you need for this business, how much is the running cost. Do you need to run any marketing campaigns, or based on the target audience that you have, would you be doing more of activations in the market? Is it going to be door to door? Is it going to be word of mouth? So you need to have a plan and know how you're going to apportion your finances to, meet up with your set goals and objectives. And very importantly, obviously there needs to be marketing needs to be done. And for every small, medium scale business, obviously you can't, run marketing campaigns like either the multinationals would do, like the big organizations like flour mills, like Union Bank would do. But when you have a plan and you've done your market research, you're able to then look at the low-hanging fruits. You're able to look at ways that you can market your product or your service in a way that is cost-effective, in line with your business. Like 50% of the resources you have to market your product, where you should actually be spending maybe just 10%, and spending even much more on maybe quality control or research and development and things like that. Also, it's important for you to understand your competitive edge. So what is your value proposition? Like if I come to you today and I ask you, okay, this is what you're doing. What is your value? What makes you different from business A? What makes business B different from business A? What is that? What is your right to succeed? That's what I would say. What's your rights? What's that one thing that you will do that sets you apart from others? Very important. And in this new age that we're in now, we're in the techie world, and it's very important for you to keep reinventing yourself or your business. You can't just say, this is what I'm doing and that's what I'm doing. You have to always evaluate. You always have to, keep checking the pulse of the markets. You have to keep keeping up with the trends and knowing when to tweak things, knowing when to maybe diversify, knowing when to, maybe develop new markets. So it's all ties to initially you having a plan and walking it through and being very deliberate about, everything that you're doing and ensuring that you're moving with time and not just static. Because any business that will be successful at this time has to be innovative. You have to really be innovative because people are not smiling, and the world is not smiling right now. So you have to really be innovative. Thank you.
Thank you, Olasubomi. Thank you. You've talked about understanding your target audience before you launch, and that's really critical. And I know that that's something that the Alpha team is really passionate about. They want to understand their target audience, their target market. What are the genuine concerns? What are the needs? You also talked about planning. You talked about how to create visibility and evaluation. Thank you. That was really insightful. Next question I have here is, what is the place of mentoring in success? And I'm going to leave that to anyone. Any other panelists can take that. What is the place of mentoring in success?
Can I jump on that?
Yes, Lara, definitely you can.
I'm a mentor myself, and what I can say for free is what took a mentor 20 years can actually take you just 4 years. Because what the mentor says to you most of the time is their failures. So I mentor young lawyers and also mentor business people because I left banking, so I'm fully self-employed. So the place of, so after I started mentoring, a lot of people were saying that, this mentor, you people just say mentor everywhere, mentor. But the truth is, you can never underestimate the influence of a mentor. So you want to achieve this, and there's somebody that have achieved it, and that person is your mentor. The first thing I tell the people I mentor is, this and this and this are my failures. You shouldn't fail again in this aspect. So the place of a mentor is very critical. Is as critical as after God, you need a mentor. So what the mentor is giving to you is what Gen Zs will say, soft life. You are not just struggling because you're like, Ma, I'm about to do this. And like, no, don't do this, don't do that. And then you are just scaling into it. So everybody needs a mentor. Even mentors need mentors. Have mentors as well. As a career person, as a business person, it just give you that soft landing because they have gone through the same situation you are going through. And I mentor a lot of small startup businesses in Faith Foundation. A lot of them have gotten funds that if it was those days, I would not have gotten, because now I showed them that, see, this application for funding is not about what you want to do. What does the funder want to fund? So you have to be able to design what the solution you want to provide based on that. So those are some of the things that they will not read in books and they will not even get in any business school that they go through. So a mentor is very critical for business growth. It's very critical for career advancement. It's very critical for life generally. So many mentors have delved into even marriage counseling, because there are times that you're just talking to a woman about how she can get promotion and she just starts, the last one I had, she just started crying. I'm like, promotion does not bring cry. Why are you crying? And then she started talking about her marriage and all of that. So we delved into that. I've been married for a long while. It's not about number of years, but what I've been able to do to keep my home. So we delve into that. So mentors have helped in so many ways, marriage, business, and career. So it's very critical.
Thank you so much, Lara. I know you still have a lot to say. Unfortunately, time's of the essence. Olasubomi, I can feel you waving your hand. I just want to make one comment. Just one comment, Lara. Thank you very much. I think two things that that hit the spot for me is one, your mentor has failed in certain things which he or she would share with you, so you don't have to fail there. And then your mentor will share things that you may not find when you're reading books or reading case studies or doing your research. Thank you. Those are powerful tips. Olasubomi, please go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, I just wanted to chime in. Lara has spoken very well, and mentorship is one topic that resonates with me very much because, even at the FML Women Network, we have like a structured mentorship program. But one thing I wanted to just, say was that times that we feel that we need to have like a structured mentor or be in the structured mentorship program to have a mentor, or people are fond of, like, you go to events, for example, conferences, and you just see someone that, you admire so much. And you're just like, oh, I want you to be my mentor. Oh, I want you to, and, you just get all these numbers and it just ends there. I want everyone, listening to know that you can have mentors that don't even know they're mentoring you. And that's where you get, even by observing, that's where you get the realest, how would I put, advice. So I'll give an example. There was a day I was talking to my principal at work, my line manager, and I was like, oh, Shubham, who is even your mentor? I'm like, well, am I even your mentor? I'm like, yes, you are. And it was like, but you've never asked me to be your mentor. And I was like, I don't need to ask you to be my mentor. There are times we sit down in the office and have a chat. And you're mentoring me because I'm telling you things that I want to do. I'm seeking advice. I'm sharing my challenges with you. And you're advising me, you're providing solutions. That's you mentoring me. I don't need to come and say, oh, be my mentor, or, I see someone. So I want us to have that mindset, to cultivate that mindset of, identifying people around us and, and knowing that it doesn't necessarily have to be a structured, mentorship program for it to be effective, and there's one level above mentorship. Like when you begin to do that, it then begins to transcend towards sponsorship, where this person is actually, talking about you in tables, in rooms where you're not present. And, that then enables you, being seen, and then it can, create more career projection and progression for you as well. Just wanted to drop that in so that we don't have that mindset that we always has to be like a structured mentorship program all the time.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I think you're absolutely right, because I have some people in my life mentoring me, but they have no idea that's what they're doing. Thank you for sharing that. I think we may have time for one more question. Let's see if we can squeeze in one or two questions before we call it a day. So, Dr. Busola, I'm going to direct this one at you. How do you get better on a self-development journey?
Okay. Embarking on a self-development journey is a very tricky one, but like I said earlier, set clear and meaningful goals. Be fair to yourself. Identify your personal goals, specific skills, and be clear on what you're trying to achieve in general. Another one will be to prioritize self-reflection. Take out time to reflect and understand your strengths, your weaknesses, your value, and areas you need to improve on. And be very open to criticism and take it lightly and just work on it in general. Another one will be to have a growth mindset. Adapt a mindset where you believe in abilities and intelligence, you're continuously aware of continuous learning, just improving yourself. Because like Olasubomi said, we're in the tech world and everybody is moving. So you have to continually invest in yourself. And then also practice self-care. Prioritize your self-care, ensure your well-being, and maintain a balance in life, in whatever you're doing. And also cultivate a habit of self-discipline and just a self-discipline habit. I think that would be all for me. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Busola. Let's squeeze in one more question, just one more. This comment, there's a comment and a question. So first, it's good day, and I say well done to all speakers. Please, I would like to ask about combining career and business. Do you think the two can be equally combined, or putting them together can get one distracted? Combining business and career, is it possible? I know that Lara had talked about work-life balance, trying to balance all of that. So what's your take, Lara?
I think it's something that I've done before, but when you're starting a business and you have a 9-to-5 job, I don't think you should resign immediately. Test the market while you're working and save up money. So that, because business anywhere, not just in Nigeria, has to go through different stages. There's the teething stage, there's the crawling stage, just like a baby, toddler stage, and all of that. So go through all of that while you're in your 9-to-5. But the truth is, if you must run a successful business, you have to be 100% available. So at the time when you know that you're comfortable enough to continue to enjoy the good life you once enjoyed as 9-to-5, you have the money saved, you have the investment, you have tested the market with your product, maybe you're selling fruits and you have even tested it in your office, you've gotten feedbacks and all that, you are now comfortable, then you should face the business. I don't believe in doing 50-50 because it depends on the business that you're doing. There's some business that you can't even do 50-50. You just end up losing so much money. And whoever is managing your business is building a house on your profit. So if you are able to do that, then you can transit from that into your business fully. So don't make the mistake of, oh, I woke up in the morning, I feel like resigning. My business is going to do well. I just rush into it. Don't do it too. Just put things in place while you're 9-to-5. Make sure that you give your employer 100% while you're there. Saturdays and Sundays, face that business and work out the feedback, work out the transactions, work out all of that Saturdays and Sundays, public holidays, and do all that. You can do that for 1-2 years. If you now see that, okay, this business needs more than this, and I can live well while doing the business. So there is that issue of not everybody can do business. Not everybody can do 9-to-5. Whatever the case may be, we need to balance it.
Thank you very much, Lara. So I think I'm going to spend some time digesting that one. This is what you just shared about 50-50, giving my employer 100, not being able to run a successful business without giving 100%. It's a lot, but I'm sure we'll have it figured out one way or the other. Thank you for sharing. Unfortunately, that's all the questions we can take, as we must wrap up now. If your question wasn't answered or you would like to ask a question not related to this session, please email alpha@unionbankng.com. We would like to say a big thank you to Lara Garuba, Dr. Busola Ayelowo, and Olasubomi Sofowora for sharing their success stories with us. We also appreciate all of you for attending this session. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Lastly, please ensure to follow us on Instagram @AlphaWoman to stay updated on our mind-blowing offerings specially curated for you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye.
Thank you, everyone, for joining the session.
Thank you. Thank you, Adenike. It was a pleasure, sharing the space with you, Busola and Lara.
Thank you all for having me.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for the insightful tips you shared. We enjoyed having you. And I have my notes already. So I'll go back and, digest a lot of the things that have been shared today.
I hope we do this again sometime soon.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, Lara.
I hope we do this again sometime soon.
Oh, yes, most definitely. Most definitely. I'm sure we will. It's great to have you. Thank you for being open. Thank you for being honest. Thank you for sharing. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and well done, Adenike. You did a fantastic job moderating the session.
Thank you, Olasubomi.
All right, bye for now.
Bye for now.